Greetings, Internet. You have tuned in to Fighting the Void, where we discuss politics, culture, TV, movies, basically anything that strikes our interest. Now, today, I am joined by my brand spanking new co-host, Krystle, over there. You see her in the corner.
Hi.
Now, she's not in the corner, because this is Hangouts, and whoever talks gets the big screen. We've had a couple of semi-serious episodes going back a little bit now. So today we're going to do a more lighthearted episode, just talking about Supernatural, specifically the potential spinoffs that they've floated, any other ideas, possible spinoffs that maybe they haven't officially floated, but seems like characters could work in a spinoff, or just completely original ideas that come out of our own heads. Now, before we get started, I should have done this earlier, but Krystle, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Krystle, 3 capital I's, and I also have a website called betweenworldswriting.wordpress.com.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter at Gingerman Editor, and also this podcast is at what is it? It's fighting. It's just Fighting Void. Fighting the Void. Yes, search for that. You'll hopefully find it on Twitter and on YouTube. And if you're tuning in live, we are paying attention to the comment section on the YouTube channel Fighting the Void, and also the Twitter is up. So feel free to comment that way if you've got any of your own spinoff ideas, or if you think ours suck. So, Krystle, let's pretend that somebody out there knows nothing about Supernatural. You are the resident expert / Uber fangirl.
Yes.
Educate the ignorant masses. And on that cue, I think Krystle just froze up, that's horrible. So I'll try to fill the dead air a little bit while Krystle comes back. And Supernatural, for those who do not know, it is the story of Sam and Dean Winchester. And you're back. Okay, good. I was just starting to do my best job of educating the masses. So back to you.
So Supernatural is about these brothers, Sam and Dean, who go around the United States hunting monsters, usually monsters from either urban legends or different religions, or really from anywhere. It's just a mishmash of anything you can think of. And in the later seasons, the plot lines have become more bigger, and the villains have become more persistent, and it's become more of a overarching storyline throughout the season that takes main focus. While in the earlier seasons, it was more of a monster of the week sort of thing,
with an overarching plot line that kept cropping up, but it wasn't. It was the driving force, but it wasn't every week.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's more every now and then they throw in a monster hunt as a fill-in episode, essentially.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Now for many seasons now, really, gosh, since season 5, at least, it's been it's been Winchester's saving the world. Yeah,
pretty much.
I hadn't really thought about that fact until just now, just how long they've been doing the big bad who's threatening the world, or sometimes the entire universe.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? Just go after the entire universe.
Pretty much. I mean, that's I don't know if you did you catch up on this on the season finale yet?
No, but I know what happens.
Right. There are there's a couple universe level threats going on just in this season.
Oh man. Yeah.
And then of course there was, what was it, season 11 with Fighting the Darkness.
Amara. Oh, yeah. I love that season.
Yeah, we have a difference of opinion on that season.
Season 5 and 11 are my favorites.
I forget, what was season 5 again?
Season 5 was when Lucifer was introduced.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was a good season.
That also had That had changing channels too. The episode, changing channels.
Changing channels. Refresh my memory.
It's an episode where Gabriel is sending Sam and Dean through these different. They're in a medical soap opera.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, I love that episode. Yeah.
That was a good time. Okay, now when it comes to spin-offs for Supernatural, there have been a couple of backdoor pilots. Like officially, this is a backdoor pilot. We want to see what people think about this and decide whether or not to launch it as a separate series. There was one a few years ago. I think it was called Bloodlines, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And that was essentially vampire, werewolf, mob families in Chicago.
Yeah. Supernatural version of The Sopranos.
Right. And I don't know. What did you think about the potential of that one?
I really did not like that episode. Though, to be fair, I don't like any backdoor pilot episodes. Period. I understand the economics of it because a network or studio isn't really gonna want to film an entire new pilot that's a spin-off if they can just put it in as an episode of the show it's spinning off from. But when you're watching a show, you want to see the characters of that show. You really don't want to see something that's supposed to be different from it.
Right. So
I really don't like backdoor pilots, period. But yeah, I really didn't like that one at all.
They do see, at least especially in the case of really both Supernatural backdoor pilots, they seem forced. Like they don't, they just don't fit with the overall. They don't fit with the general tone. They don't fit with the current storyline that's going on. It's just, and
they
then,
really
what's that?
They really don't.
No, and in the case of Bloodlines, yeah. No, go ahead.
And then with this, well, you go first because I'll be moving on to the second.
Okay. In the case of Bloodlines, you're left with the knowledge that there are these massive supernatural crime families going on in Chicago, and well, they forgot about that. On to other things. I mean, they did sort of cover themselves when they said, it's like, well, we'll let every other hunter and everything that we know about this, that this is going on, and don't worry, it'll be fine. And we'll just never go back to Chicago so we don't run into this.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I expect to happen with the second one too, because the second backdoor pilot introduces this idea of a whole alternate world with an alien and a planet that has a giant footprint that looks like it's from a T-Rex of some sort. And it's like, dude, I guarantee you they're never gonna remember that further down the show. And Wayward Sisters, which is what the backdoor pilot was, it's struggling being picked up. So who knows if that's even gonna happen. So it's like, okay, so you introduce this big, huge thing that's just gonna fall off the map of Supernatural, basically.
Especially since they crossed, there was a character from that alternate world that crossed over.
Yeah.
And you had the big reveal shot at the end of the episode where it's like, oh, it's a doppelganger of that one girl that this one killed, and it's revealed like she's big and bad, and she is, because she was taking on Sam and Dean together. And you know, when it comes to hand to hand against, especially against regular humans, they pretty much win easily.
Yeah.
You actually need to throw vampires and werewolves at them to make it a challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have wondered about that. It's like, okay, it's forgotten about for the rest of this season, obviously, but is this going to come in? Are the writers going to remember and bring this into play somehow for the next season? Maybe. I hope so, just because leaving a giant plot thread like that dangling is super, super annoying.
Yeah, especially since Supernatural, the mythos of the world is already kind of in a way wishy-washy with the rules and whatnot.
Just a touch.
Just a tad, you know, characters dying and coming back over and over and over and over and over again.
Honestly, Sam and Dean, they're giving Jean Grey and Marvel Comics a run for her money. And that is saying something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. That girl, and I don't know how many people know this, but Jean Grey is actually the one that started that.
Oh.
She was like the first major comic book character to die and then come back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that broke the seal, and it's just gotten worse ever since.
Yeah. See, because of Supernatural doing that, I like vow with the TV pilot I'm working on. I like vow when a character dies, they're staying dead. They're not none of this coming back and forth crap.
like constantly, like on a regular basis, to the point where it becomes it actually becomes an escape tactic.
Yeah, and you're just not scared of them dying anymore because it's like, oh, you died. See you next season, dude. Yeah.
Exactly. If it takes that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you remember the one episode where they got captured by the Secret Service or whatever? They were thrown into prison, and they literally they were literally like, well, they made a deal with like one of the Reapers or whatever. They died so that they would get carried out and then brought back to life. And like, oh, come on. It's like really, this is okay. Well, you know what? It's still fun, so I'm gonna just accept it for the moment and move on. But now, what do you think of the potential of maybe not with that particular storyline, with the alternate world thing where they're just fighting weird monsters, weird homogenous monsters from some alternate dimension? But what about just the possibility of the Wayward Sisters having some sort of show, if not exactly that one?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on it because for me, I feel like I'm seeing so many shows and movies doing that lately where the main cast is all male and they have to do something with all female, just the equality and whatnot. It's like,
right.
You really don't have to do that. So I'm torn because of that, but also because I really like what's her name? The sheriff, the one who knew Bobby.
Jody.
Because I really like Jody, and I really like the cop from Denver.
Yes.
And I thought it was interesting to bring in Missouri's psychic.
Yeah. I think I share your feelings about the whole gender swapping thing. Like, we've always done it all male. Let's do it all female. Why?
Yeah.
Well, because we need to.
Yeah.
It's 2018 and it's time. It's like no, but the development of that group of people was done organically. It wasn't just this. Yeah, it wasn't just a slapdash. We're just gonna say, poof, there's this all-female group of hunters, and it developed organically over the course of the series, really. So I'm okay with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, that too. That was another reason why I was kind of like, well, I don't know, because it wasn't like, what if we had like a female version of Sam and Dean, or what if Sam and Dean had daughters for some reason and they began hunting? It's actually, as you said, it grew organically.
Yeah, and like I said, for that reason, I was willing to just completely and utterly overlook potential other motivations behind doing it, and just go, and I like the characters. I think they're interesting. I think I think Alex needs something to do other than just stay behind and, I don't know, cook.
I forgot about Alex because Claire usually takes the spotlight.
Right. Well, I mean, Claire is that group's dean, obviously. I know you don't like that comparison, but you know it's true. She's the angry one. She's the one who charges in without a plan. Come on. She's the female Dean. She's just got more angst.
I feel like there's another thing with her that doesn't make her quite Dean. It might be the way she handles her angst. Maybe. I don't know. There's something about her that I really can't call her a female Dean. Because when I think of there being a female Dean, I think they'd be, as like likable and charismatic as Dean too.
Right. Well, what's missing with Claire, there's no comedic aspect.
Yeah.
Dean, you've always got the heck yeah, I'm gonna have three bacon cheeseburgers and 2 beers for a snack. We can't
forget his catchphrase. Yeah, that's what it is. She's missing the humor. The humor is what like makes the whole package. Anyway, but spinoffs. we keep getting sidetracked.
Well, it's easy. So
yeah.
So the Wayward Sisters, it could conceivably work. But the thing, well, let me hold that thought. Let's go over some other potential ideas here, because my thought there pertains to the idea of spinoffs or Supernatural as a whole. Now, there've been a couple other possibilities, areas where they could take this and work it into a spinoff series. Like, who wouldn't have liked back in the day to see a spinoff series based on the Roadhouse?
With Joe and Alan, right?
Exactly. Just they could be the central characters, but maybe every week or every few weeks, they change out storylines with a different hunter or group of hunters that come to the Roadhouse and get some intel and go off on a case.
Oh my gosh, that would have been so good.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Because we'd have Alan who'd like stay back and maintain the house. We'd have Joe who'd go hunting with them, and then we have what's the guy's name? The guy with the mullet who'd do like all the research.
The computer guy, yeah.
Oh my gosh, he could. Oh my. Now I wish they did that.
that would have been a good spinoff back in the day. I don't know if it would work today. Like if the Roadhouse was still a thing with the way the series has gone and everything. I don't know if that would work, but
and it wouldn't be the same without those characters too.
Yeah, honestly, well, you couldn't do it without those characters, but I don't know. It's entirely possible there is another Roadhouse-like thing out there.
Yeah, but what made this Roadhouse special was the characters.
Yeah. Yes. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But it's not that they couldn't come up with other good, compelling characters that could man the Roadhouse. The only problem there is it's going to seem derivative. It's going to seem like a copycat, because it would be.
That too, but also if I want that, I'm going to want the characters that it just wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't. And that would be the problem with trying to recreate a Roadhouse like that.
Yeah.
It's always going to remind you, for a long time fan of the show, it's always going to remind you of the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And why didn't they do this with those guys?
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you gonna do? I see that as a missed opportunity. Although to be fair, that was early on in the series. They didn't know how popular, how long running this was going to become.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't really blame them for not doing it, because they until like season 5, I think, because season 5 was written as if that was the very last season.
Yep.
So, but it's like I remember reading and listening to stuff where they said after season 5 is when they got more comfortable with doing stuff. But prior to that, each season they were worried about getting canceled. So they wouldn't even consider doing a spinoff, because it's like, okay, gotta try and keep this one up and going. We can't really worry about bringing in a spinoff.
Yeah, I mean, but now, yeah, and now it's just such a juggernaut.
Yeah.
It. Yeah, I remember for a couple of seasons they're like, "Is this going to be the last season? Is the next season going to be the last season?" Then finally they're like, "You know what? I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
going to keep rolling until we decide not to."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which that's always fun. I want to. I want to give a quick shout out to our buddy Arlen, who's over there in the YouTube chats, giving us some enlightening comments about your lipstick. So, Arlen approves.
Thank you.
And she's talking about sometimes spinoffs do work, and she does bring up some examples, like Torchwood, for example, from Doctor Who, Angel from Buffy, and there's there've been some X-Men series that are out there now, and also, well, I won't even get started on the whole X-Men movie universe. That's a whole rabbit trail. That's a whole nother episode. We'll have to do like half a dozen serious episodes and then just rant about that timeline for a while.
I haven't seen any of those things.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible. I know, I'm terrible.
Yeah, this is true. All right. So now there's two other, I think, obvious possibilities that Supernatural kind of played with for a spinoff. One was Cole, who was this guy that I forget exactly how it was he came to hate Dean. I think his like son had been possessed by like a or like by like a shapeshifter or something like that, and Dean had to kill him, and so Cole came after him, or maybe it was his wife, something like that.
That was during Dean Munn.
Oh yeah, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big thing during that time. Dean Munn. That everyone. That's how.
That is kind of funny. But yeah, it was from long before, but the guy decided to come after Dean. Got himself, he thought, all trained up and everything. I'm ready to take this guy on. Tracked him down, and of course, that's when you pointed out Dean was a demon.
Yep.
Thanks to wielding the blade of Cain, and
Mark of Cain.
What's that?
Mark of Cain.
Oh, that's right. He had the Mark of Cain. That's right. And yeah, that didn't do good things to him at all. And yeah, Cole just didn't stand a chance.
It kind of made him psychopathic, which I like. I like psychopathic characters. They're very, very interesting. This is the point where gender begins to really become concerned about me.
Okay. I've decided, what I've decided, Krystle, is that I'm not going to become concerned. I'm just going to stay concerned. That's just how it's gonna be. I'm just gonna always worry just a little bit and make sure that I have a general idea of where you are in the country so that I don't have to look over my shoulder. All right. So I think they did one or two other episodes with Cole where it's like I think they were floating the idea of him as a separate hunter. It's like, are people going to latch onto this character, and can we just follow him around on his various escapades? And of course, he sort of disappeared.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him. Could he carry a series? Honestly, don't think so.
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on a few things. Like how it's written, of course, and if any other characters were involved. I think it would have worked well if any other characters were part of it too, and not just Cole. Yeah, if it was just Cole, definitely it probably wouldn't. But if it were someone else involved, yeah.
Another idea, and this could actually have worked with Cole, is what if they had made a series based on Garth? It's sort of like the Roadhouse series, but when Garth took over Bobby's job, essentially.
Oh, Garth was such a sweetheart.
I love the guy. I really like that actor for some reason, and just anytime he shows up in something, it makes me happy.
he's got like a lovable aura to him. Like
Exactly.
you can't hate him. Even Dean can't hate him. Let's be
No, and
honest.
he wants to. You could tell he really wanted to at first.
Oh, he tried to, but Garth scarfed him, and
Yes.
he couldn't hate Garth.
He killed Dean with Garthness. Yeah. What if they had done like a spinoff where, Garth he's got Bobby's job, so he's essentially Hunter Dispatcher.
Oh, that would have been like Cole entering like the hunting thing and being recommended to go to this guy who took over Bobby's job. And can you imagine that duo? That
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 would be funny.
For sure. It would be like, have you seen Scrubs?
I have not.
Okay. I'm trying to think of something you might have seen. Since I mentioned it, for those who've seen Scrubs, it'd almost be like if Dr. Cox and JD were paired up to star a TV show. Which Ginger, you don't know. JD is he's this doctor, but he's kind of a doofus, and he's like he daydreams a lot. He's always in his head and whatnot. And Dr. Cox is the kind of doctor who he'll give it to you straight, and he doesn't give a crap, and he kind of hates everyone. And
okay, yeah. So he's Cole.
Yeah, maybe more Cole, though Cole doesn't really hate everyone, but more the stern, like
right,
get the job done. And then Garth is like the JD of like joking around, trying.
He's just goofy.
Friends with you,
yeah. That could have been an interesting spin-off series.
That would be a duo.
Yeah. Yes. Now the other one was the Witch Twins. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but
the one from that episode where they go to the Hunter funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they were kind of.
Yeah, it kind of occurred to me as like, this is kind of a little out there, a little off the wall, different. So is this one of those spin-off things they're gonna try to float on us there?
Oh no, they were more of a one episode thing, I feel like, and they should. It was right to leave them as like a one-time thing. I can't remember. Were they in other episodes?
I want to say they were in. I want to say they were in a couple, but
okay.
It did feel a little bit like, okay, we're making a little bit of a deal out of these two. It definitely wasn't a full-on backdoor pilot, but it kind of felt like, let's try a different kind of character, see if people like that. They probably like this. Are these guys trending on Twitter at all? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't really know how those decisions are made, but
yeah. I mean, the twin witches. I mean, I definitely like the idea of twin witches, but at the same time, I don't think I would want that to be a spinoff for Supernatural. I feel like that's more of a original TV show thing that someone should do.
Yeah, that could actually work. Make it a spinoff, the Brothers Grimm or something like that. Well, there's already a Grimm series, so
actually that's over now.
Well, yeah, it's over, but yeah, do you really want to go back to that well quite so quick?
That was such a good show.
Yeah. I never got around to seeing that one.
It's good.
I probably should put it on my Netflix watching or some such.
It's really good.
It occurred to me, there's another one that they could have done.
Yeah.
But they obviously didn't, and the opportunity is gone now. But when Charlie and Dorothy went to Oz.
Nah. Nah, I wouldn't be there. I didn't like the Oz plot at all. No.
No, not a fan of the other reality in general.
Oh man, that does seem to be what I tend to now.
That is a theme.
Huh. I never really caught that. But yeah, I guess I'm just not a big fan of the alternate reality in Supernatural.
Well, to be fair, in general, the whole multiverse thing is being done to death. Like anything sci-fi fantasy related, it's like, oh my gosh, what? It's like somebody, it's like a bunch of Hollywood nerds read an issue of Discover magazine talking about M theory, and just said, guys, we can do whatever we want.
Just throw the rule book out the window.
Exactly. It's an alternate reality now. Yes, it's an alternate timeline. That's why this person is alive and this person is dead, and we can do whatever we want. There are no rules anymore.
It seems like he's dead, but in alternate reality.
Yeah, we just do the thing they do in the Arrowverse. It was like, well, we killed this character, but we're just gonna pluck this one out of Earth 97 and say.
Wait. But not only is he alive in the alternate reality, he's evil in the alternate reality.
Of course he's evil in the alternate reality. That's what they're for. That's why you have alternate realities in these shows, so they can fight evil versions of themselves.
The alternate realities are just like the womb, and they give birth to like evil characters whenever you need. That's all they are. Just a machine to produce evil characters.
Yeah, or resurrect dead ones.
Yeah, but they can't be resurrected perfectly. There has to be something off.
Oh yeah. There's definitely always something off. There's something different, but a lot of times it is. They do use that trick too.
Yeah.
Or they try to get all philosophical, and it's like, none of my choices mean anything unless I choose to destroy it all.
Because that's not genocidal or anything.
Yeah. It's like, wait, so the only choice you can make that matters is to destroy all choices. So that's a thing that does come up every now and then in an alternate reality story. One of the obvious examples is the I think it's the Earth 2 movie. I can't remember exactly what it was called. There was a DC animated movie where the Earth 2 characters crossed over and everything, and everybody finds out that there's a multiverse. And Owlman, who's the evil version of Batman, decides that, and figures out, if I blow up this fancy bomb in this place, it will destroy the whole multiverse, and that's the only choice that matters. Or there was a independent sci-fi movie a few years ago called Another Earth, where this other Earth suddenly pops up not far away, and it turns out it's almost exactly like Earth. Like, it's literally the same two people talking to each other, trying to introduce themselves. It's like, wait, what? And the main character decides, the only choice I have to exercise to prove her free will. She decides to crash into a car, which winds up killing a family. It's like, why does this make any sense? Why is it why in these stories is it what people go to prove that they still have free will, that their choices matter, that they matter? I should do something evil. Why does that work?
I call myself Satan, and I don't even get that jump. And
yeah, it's a bit of a leap, but anyway, that's again far afield from Supernatural, other than their recent proclivity for alternate dimensions and apocalypse worlds.
Yeah,
where we get, of course, evil versions of certain characters and resurrect other ones.
Yeah,
like Bobby, for example.
Oh, Bobby.
Bobby's back thanks to Apocalypse World.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
And they even did like a reverse resurrection because, well, it's kind of a double resurrection, because in Apocalypse World, Mary Winchester had died many years before. Whereas, now she's already been resurrected in, shall we say, Supernatural Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. But okay, so I think that covers pretty much all of the spinoff or potential spinoff ideas that I can see that they floated at Supernatural over the now 13 seasons.
Yeah.
So
Going on 14.
Yeah, going on 14.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we know exactly what's going to happen, other than that Dean's the big bad guy again.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of hope that they do a better job making him the big bad guy than they did when he was a demon, because really that was kind of a wash.
So see, I like that one too. I'm starting to think our tastes in some things might be opposite.
Our tastes are similar. Our tastes are just similar enough, but different enough where we can actually have a debate about the same thing and know what we're talking about.
Yeah, true.
See, what I didn't like about that season was, or at least the way that season started, is like, okay, Dean's a demon. So what does he do? He goes around, hooks up a lot, and drinks in bars. And what do they do to show that he's really a bad guy now? He says mean things to girls. That was it.
I don't remember that. No, see, I actually have to rewatch that season because I hardly remember much of stuff. I hardly remember anything other than season 5 and 11 now.
Oh, and
what I'm currently watching with Lucas and Rachel.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So, see, that one, it seemed like a really wasted opportunity, especially since Crowley kind of set it up to where he figured this might happen, to where he figured that Dean would become a demon.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so what are you gonna do with that? And as my memory serves, they didn't really do much with it. I'm like, and within just a few episodes, Dean was cured, and we were off fighting some other big bad guy, and it just, again, it felt like a genuinely wasted opportunity to me.
Or maybe it wasn't so much him being a demon. It was the season leading up to it, which involved meeting Cain, and
that I liked. That I was I was good with all of that.
Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I can't remember for sure.
Now so now they've got Dean being a big bad guy again and everything. I just hope that again that they do more with it. That they actually show him being a bad guy.
Yeah.
But now, do you have any other ideas? Any other thoughts where they could have spun something off, or maybe where they could in the future? Or if you don't have any, yeah, go ahead.
No, I can think of 2 characters, but it's probably the one maybe not or do or can't do anymore because of the time. But the other one, I think it would be kind of interesting, but I think it probably would be kind of a more weaker spin-off, but I wouldn't mind seeing it, is if Ben, now that because when they had Ben in the show, he was a kid. By now, he's more full grown. So, like, what if...
We talked about this, yes.
Yeah, what if it wasn't because of Dean or anything, because Dean would refuse, period, to have him get involved with hunting, but, like, somehow Ben got involved in hunting, and now he's filling in those shoes, and he's kind of a Dean hunter himself in a way, but, but Ben at the same time.
Now, for the viewing public, Ben goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
Ben is Ben's mother denied that she was what was her name again?
It starts with an L. I can't remember.
Lisa? Was it Lisa?
Lisa, yes.
Okay. There was, again, early on, Dean actually found love, everybody. Like legit.
Yeah.
And he tried living a normal life, and it just, short version, it just didn't work out well. But he wait, a while later we run into, she already had Ben at that point.
Yeah.
Because she was a
Ex-girlfriend.
a girlfriend or a one-night stand from long before that got introduced into the show that way. And she had a kid, Ben, who acted a lot like Dean. Now, she, of course, denied that Dean was the father.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone who watched that show was buying it.
I kind of bought it. But now I'm quite buying it. Now I'm kind of like, okay, but maybe he is. Maybe he is.
Yeah,
but is he? Because would Lisa really keep up with the lie by the time with how far her and Dean get serious?
It's entirely possible that she genuinely believed it. It just strikes me as really unlikely since they played up their similarities so much. And so yeah, a spinoff series featuring Ben, because something naturally happened, something horrible happens to Lisa, of course, and that's just the way it rolls. Yeah, why wouldn't it? So I suppose that could work. That could work about as well as the Cole thing. At the very least, I'd be interested in seeing that episode.
Yeah. Definitely. It's more kind of a Cole level spinoff. But the other one, I think could work depending on what the plot line or storyline is. Adam.
Yes, here is a place where we agree. I've wanted Adam / Michael to come back for years.
I forgot about Adam, and then I started realizing just how much they forget about Adam, and it's like, okay, but like you have another Winchester, basically right there.
Yeah.
And you left him in hell.
Yeah.
Come save the poor guy.
I know, right? Especially since they've literally moved heaven and earth multiple times to pull each other out of hell or purgatory or wherever. Yeah, poor Adam. And
it's so weird they forget about him too, because like in the episode they introduced him, Dean really didn't like him, but Dean was also hell-bent on Adam not becoming a hunter because he didn't want Adam to have to deal with what they dealt with. But Sam was also kind of really interested in Adam too. So it's kind of weird too that they just completely forget about him after being so interested in him for one episode.
Yeah.
Like that interest doesn't just disappear.
Yeah. There was a thing in last season, maybe the season before, I'm not sure, where they did mention he actually did come up, although they were talking more about Michael, not Adam, but they just mentioned how Michael didn't deal with the pit real well.
Yeah.
And that was about it. I was like, oh, bummer.
That would be an interesting spinoff too. Like maybe Adam is brought back and then he tries to return to normal life, but he just can't avoid the monsters now because he was Michael's vessel, and kind of almost attracts them. So he's
or he just notices them.
That too.
He's got a built-in monster detector now, and he just knows when they're around and
has PTSD from hell.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that could be a good series,
right?
That really could be, because you could go back to with him to sort of the serious tone that Supernatural had in the beginning.
Yeah.
And actually bring some of that, because as soon as you said the PTSD that you would definitely have, would make for just really, really cool and interesting storylines, I think, where you could, you could even play up the angle for a little while, maybe, that, is this even happening?
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine combining him having PTSD from the pit, but also like seeing monsters everywhere, and like what if he questions whether or not he's actually seeing monsters and if they're real, or if seeing things because of.
Yeah, honestly, I think that could be good. Now, I'm not completely counting Adam out yet for this simple reason. I've noticed the last couple seasons, they're going back to the well a little bit. They're every now and then they're bringing something back from an early season, at least reintroducing a concept. For one, you got that brief mention of Adam Michael. You've got all of a sudden Dean remembering that he's Michael's sword. And when they introduced the men of letters, the British men of letters, they did it with a character who had supernatural powers, much like Sam could have anytime he decides to take a little swig of demon blood.
Wait, do you think it's possible with the way this season ended that they could bring him back?
Yes. Yes, I do. I honestly would be. That seems almost like an obvious way to do it. Like, okay, we need to. It's like, oh crap! Now we've got Apocalypse World Michael out. He's super duper powerful. Unfortunately, Lucifer was like the best chance to stop him, but we needed Michael to stop Lucifer. So, other than Jack, actually, there's Jack, but how deep powered is he now? How long will he take to re-energize? All of that jazz. And so, what's your obvious next go-to to take down Apocalypse Michael? Actual Michael. Adam Michael.
Adam.
Bring him back in the pit, especially since what just occurs to me, there's literally no one calling the shots in hell.
Oh.
Lucifer's dead. Asmodeus is dead, presumably.
Oh, Lucifer died? Oh, man. I didn't hear
about gosh, I'm sorry. Oh.
No, actually, I don't mind spoilers. I just didn't hear about that part in the finale. I thought I saw something referring to that, but I wasn't sure. Oh man! Oh, poor Lucy.
I'm sorry. I totally forgot that you hadn't actually seen it.
Oh, dude, no, it's fine. Seriously, I'm completely fine with spoilers. The only time I don't want spoilers is the book I'm currently reading by Sam Baker. That's the only time I do not want spoilers. Otherwise, bring them all. Bring all the spoilers to me.
So, considering the length of that book and the rate that I'm pretty sure you're reading it at, you basically can't talk to Sam about this book for like 3 years.
Actually, I'm making pretty decent good progress. I'm almost 50% of the way through. I would be further along if I didn't take a break from reading it, because there's a blog post I want to do on it, but as a way to give me the finally finish it and put it up, I'm not allowed to read anymore till I get up.
So how far along did you say you are?
Almost 50% of the way through. I'm on chapter 36.
Okay, that's nothing. That's nothing to sneeze at, because you showed me how big that book is, and
oh yeah.
But basically, everybody, she said she's halfway through. She just read War and Peace. Now she's got to read Crime and Punishment to get to finish the other half.
I can go grab it.
It's just like phone book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's old phone book, not new phone book. Old phone book.
It's really good though. Highly recommend. Variant Wars by Sam
Baker. Oh yeah, one of these days I'm going to carve out like 3 months so I can read it as well. And
better, or else you really have to watch your back.
Oh no. Understand. I'll try. I'll. Is there a deadline for me to set a deadline?
No, I'll just if it takes too long, I'll threaten throwing the book at you, because that thing can pack a punch.
That would be enough to kill me. Actually, that thing that's pretty girthy. So okay, so I think we're on the same page with the potential like Adam spinoff. Do I think they'll do it? No, I don't. But I think I won't be surprised if they bring him back, like we said, to take on Apocalypse Michael. That seems
they bring him back.
Yeah. In fact, ooh. Huh. See, there's a plot line that they left that they left hanging with this season. Remember, Asmodeus wanted Jack to release some sort of evil beasties, some sort of evil beasties from hell, and he almost tricked him into doing it early on in the season. It just didn't happen, and then it just never came up again. So those are still there.
Huh.
And so, yeah, the reason I kind of got there was because they could use Jack to probably break Michael out.
Yeah.
It was like, maybe you're not strong enough to take on Apocalypse Michael by yourself, but you're strong enough to break out our Michael, and the two of you, with your powers combined, you can make this happen.
What's that voice you put on? It's like a mix of Southern and something.
I have no idea what I was going for there. It just came out.
It happened.
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
So yeah. So any other potential spin-off ideas you can think of before we wrap things up here? We're actually coming up on an hour.
I can't think of any.
Yeah. Honestly, me either.
Unless we wanted something with like either the angels or demons, but
No.
There's already a lot of that in the show, and it just it doesn't feel supernatural. Really.
No, and not to mention, it's like, what do you? Yeah, I can't see that working, especially since there's only like 9 angels left. No, 8.
Yeah, and really, there's not much you could do with that either that would really deviate from not having Sam and Dean. Because it's going to involve demons or angels, it's going to involve Sam and Dean too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh goodness. Another they have to break Adam out, and because Michael, real Michael is the only. He's the only archangel left in that world. That's it, because Gabriel died in Apocalypse World. Spoilers.
He died again. Dang.
Yeah, I think for real. I think maybe we'll see. It's supernatural, so
it's supernatural.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure, but it seemed legit. So we'll see.
Don't lock the door. You can close the door, but don't lock it.
Yeah. Then again, I thought for sure Rowena was dead after Lucifer burned her to a crisp.
Just don't ever lock the door on the character being dead and supernatural.
Yeah, the only one I'm really, really sure is dead is Crowley, because of stuff that the actor said after the fact. Like he wanted to move on. He was done. He was done with that character.
Yeah. No,
so it's like,
understandable.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, yep, Crowley's really dead, unless they decide to give him another vessel, which is always possible.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be. There's no way it would be the same. So yeah, they need. So because Gabriel and Lucifer are apparently dead, they need to bring back Michael, because that's it. They in the weird and wacky cosmology of Supernatural, they basically need an archangel around to sort of power heaven.
I just thought of an archangel who actually has stayed dead. Balthazar.
Ooh, and Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Balthazar was more of a main character than Raphael.
Yeah.
But
that's why I said Balthazar, because he really had. It would be fun to see more of him, but yeah, he stayed dead. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few that have stayed dead. I mean, John Winchester has stayed dead. So
yeah,
not that that's set in stone.
Yeah.
I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan has even said he wouldn't mind coming back and playing John again. So and considering that Mary's back, John probably might come back at some point. Oh yeah. I almost think that's inevitable. I think they would have brought Sam's girlfriend Jessie back a long time ago if it wasn't for the fact that Adrienne Palicki has she's got other career prospects.
Yeah, Jessica.
Yeah, she would have been back, but the actress has got other things she's been doing. So, like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not coming back for a bit episode of that or anything. So, see ya. Just leave me dead, people. So, all right. I think that just, well, I guess one final question before we wrap things up. Should Supernatural have a spinoff?
No, I think not.
Okay, why?
Because the universe is getting big as it is, and there's so many characters, and there's so many opportunities already the show itself can do. I really don't see a need for a spinoff. That would be, in a way, I feel like a spinoff in a way would be kind of too many open doors of possibilities. Because as we've mentioned before, the universe in Supernatural is kind of wishy-washy, so really they can almost do anything they want, especially since they introduce different dimensions and alternate realities. So why diverge when you can just do it in Supernatural?
Right.
That's my notes, though.
Yeah, I honestly think that you're probably right that Supernatural certainly doesn't need, and maybe shouldn't have a spinoff. Yeah. My reasoning is a little bit different, more in that you could. It's hard to see how it would work because the stakes are never going to be as big as they are in Supernatural.
Yeah,
they're never going to be as big as they are for the Winchesters. So you're just going to be like, all right, well, I've got this one show where they're saving the world every season. You've got this other show where it is just Monster of the Week, essentially.
Which I personally don't mind, but
but it's going to seem weird knowing that it's in the same universe.
Yeah.
And especially if they're characters that know Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, so it's a superhero problem. Yeah. Why don't they just pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I got this thing I kind of in over my head. I really could use your help.
Yeah.
It's like, why would that work? Now, the one way I could see it would work is if, like we said with the potential Adam spinoff that you floated, if they did something with a completely different tone, where it doesn't feel like the same show just with different characters, then I could see it working. That's one reason why I wouldn't completely shut the door on the possibility, because you get the right creative team in there and they can make it work.
Yeah.
They can find the characters, they can find the story that makes people want to watch it.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard.
I should add too, I'm kind of on a no more anything tied to each other things. Just make stuff on their own, standalones. No more adaptations, no more remakes, no more reboots. Just stop.
And that's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yes. I think that's another one where I think we will mostly agree.
Yeah. Well, except I'm kind of more hardcore on it. Like, I'm kind of more absolutist on it right now because I'm just really bugged by it. But yeah.
Yeah, I would be. It's just every now and then they do something good with that by doing that. It's rare. It probably just doesn't justify everything else, but when they do it right, it's really good. Again, this is another episode, but like Cobra Kai is maybe the single best example, actually, of doing the 20, 30 years on sequel slash reboot, and it's like where it's actually done well. And as soon as I watched the first episode, I was like, I can't wait to binge the rest of this. This is amazing. But on that note, unless you've got any other final thoughts, I think we'll wrap up this episode of Fighting the Void.
Nope, all good.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in to watch this first episode with Krystle as my co-host. You will be seeing, yay! You will be seeing the both of us roughly every other week going forward, discussing politics, movies, and everything awesome and frustrating. Usually it'll be Saturday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And maybe we'll do a few shorter things here and there in between. So watch us on Twitter at Fighting the Void, or at Krystle with 3 capital I's at the end, or Gingerman Editor. And tune in next time and keep fighting the good fight. If I can just find the stop button here.
Yeah.
Smooth. All right. We'll see you next time.